We bring you guests that challenge the narrative, unveil what power hides, and spark national debate, speaking truth to power, from the grassroots to the highest offices. EMV. We bring you guests that challenge the narrative, unveil what power hides, and spark national debate, speaking truth to power, from the grassroots to the highest offices. EMV. We bring you guests that challenge the narrative, unveil what power hides, and spark national debate, speaking truth to power, from the grassroots to the highest offices. EMV.
Kwenyu ndemwe chabe mabanja onanjala mkomo ndalama zonse mutumbalano masukwa kuchuluka pa mutupatu. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu not enough. Time is up. For your lies and bluff. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu not enough. Time is up. For your lies and bluff. Kani zanu ndizo panda pindu. Anakulira miseu mwatu. Tikufuna chilengedwe cha topano. Osati mapocket anu opindika ndalama. Listen to the cries, they're louder than your lies. You can't silence the truth. It's time for the youth. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu is not enough. Time is up. For your lies and bluff. Time is up, time is up. Kwenyu is not enough. Time is up. For your lies and bluff. We rise, we stand, we fight together for the children, for a better forever. When you kunata pano, we take the rain. Tikonza jiko.
Welcome to today's broadcast on this wonderful day, Tuesday, 25th November, 2025. Today we are discussing the Oasis Forum protest against Bill 7 that they wish to have on Friday. And we'll take the calls later, please. We'll take the calls later. And the remarks made by the head of state, President Hakainde Hichilema, he held a press conference at which he spoke broadly to many issues, but he focused on the issue of the Constitution. There are various remarks he made of very deep concerns. Number one, the reference to tribe, that people just oppose him because of his way he was born, was deeply offensive to many Zambians. I didn't watch the press conference because it was around 0203 here. But as soon as I woke up, I was inundated by phone calls by many Zambians and stakeholders that were offended by the president's reference. This is the second time. Remember when he met a civil society grouping led by Isaac Mwanza, he made similar remarks that he doesn't understand why his constitutional making process is fought because he thinks, is it because of where he was born? Is it because of the tribe where he comes from? And he said, is it because of my tribe? I didn't choose to be born where I was born. These remarks are not just tribal. They are not just divisive. They are deeply offensive to Zambians that supported him. This is a president who had one of the largest landslides. He beat his opponent by 1 million votes. If you look at the decisions that were made in Northern Province, in Eastern Province, in Muchinga Province, on the Copper Belt and Lusaka, you cannot have a president who scored such high marks. Say that against Zambians. And then he gave a catalogue of issues, reasons why he needs the constitutional making process and why there should be no protest. Number one, he talked of frequently talked of delimitation process and CDF as a reason why we should have this constitutional making process. That thinking is deeply flawed, and even made another reference that he thinks that Southern Province was discriminated. It has one of the smallest numbers of constituencies. Here are the constituencies in the country. Luapula has 15 constituencies. Lusaka Province, the largest province by population, only has 13 constituencies. Muchinga Province has 10. Northern Province has 13. Northwestern Province has 12. Southern Province has 18 constituencies. Western Province has 19 constituencies. Copper Belt has 22 constituencies. Eastern Province has 21 constituencies. Southern Province is one of the largest number of constituencies in this country. The lowest is Lusaka, which by delimitation rules should have the largest number of seats because of the population it holds. Almost 4 million of our people live in Lusaka. There are other remarks that were made by the president that were clearly very offensive. I have invited Professor Dr. Gilbert Kalonde and Father Oscar Mwansa Pombo, a member of the Catholic Church, a priest based in Italy, for them to help me with this important debate. Let me see how I can quickly introduce them. Then we play the videos of the president. Here are my guests. A good day and welcome to the program. Let me just start with Professor Kalonde. Dr. Kalonde, I think Zambians are seeing you for the first time. Just introduce yourself and speak briefly about yourself.
Zambians, those I taught at Chifu, they're not seeing me for the first time. I was born and raised in Kitwe. Went to Kitwe Boys, then even on college. Taught at Chifu. First he taught at what's this place in Lopra province. Then within a few days I decided to move to the Copper Belt. Taught at Mkuva, then Chifu Secondary School. I was the first Copper Belt Youth Chairman for MMD on its inception until I came to the US in 1994. I've lived in the US for all this time, and by chance or by hard work, which I think was hard work, I became a professor in technology. So currently I'm in Montana where I teach, but since it's Thanksgiving holiday, I'm in California visiting my spouse. So I'm at my spouse's house as we cannot be together because of work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's who I am. I'm Kalonde. At my university, you mentioned Gilbert. They won't know. They just know me by Kalonde.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's Dr. Gilbert Kalonde. Is an associate professor at Montana State University in the U.S. Let me just bring in my dear brother, Father Oscar Pombo Mwansa. We call him Donosco. Just welcome to the program. You don't need any introduction. So let's go to what the president said. Then I will invite you to make your remarks because we seem to have good connections, good volume, and I think we are ready to go. Let me just start with what the president stated today.
We were aggrieved as UPND. And I told my members, no one goes in the streets. Let's vote in parliament. We voted and lost in parliament. I never allowed our members to go in the streets. UPND, this man they don't like, for whatever reason. Right? You know, this level of hatred is shocking. Right? You can see that there's venom here. You can even touch it. There's venom here. We go to amend the Constitution using the same law, using the same Constitution, which was applied, clauses which were used before. Says, no, we don't want. The timing is wrong. But what about those other timings when it was amended? What was right? Why didn't you go in the streets? Ask yourselves a question. So you want to start conflict over nothing. People brought in new ideas. We listened to the civil society. Here, you could have gone there to submit 100 pages of disagreement. Why didn't you do that? They are in court. They are in court right now. There's a court process going on. So there's a platform of the technical committee. There's court, which is always open. You are aggrieved, go to court. I think that's a civilized way of dealing with each other. Go to court. Do not invite people's children to go and start toy in the streets and take tomatoes from a hawker who lives by selling those tomatoes, feeds their children. In the process, tomatoes will be grabbed. In the process, they will burn something. We know it in this country. We know it. In the process, a fight will ensue. Then you blame HH. Who was not there? This guy is always blamed. I appreciate that. The head of state, you must be blamed. But equally, the head of state must call out things that are wrong. Now, imagine, on a day you want to toy, you want friction, you want street fights, which we stopped because the dialogue table is open. Imagine another group goes in the streets and they meet in the streets. What do you think will happen? There will be a clash there, and the investors will say, no, I can't go to Zambia. I can't go to Zambia because there's no safety there. These are the issues we're faced with now. There will be trouble there. My investment may be put on fire. That is the risk we run. So why choose that window when you have a window to go to present at the technical committee? You have a window to come, first to go to court, which you have done already, you've gone to court. You only want a potential for a fight. Kulichani mukati moja. What is the motivation? Why you want to come and break that door there, instead of breaking the door, me have said, come inside. Let's sit and talk there. Come inside. select a team, as the civil society did. They selected a team and they came, we sat. And I was listening, I told my team, I think there's a point there.
Mr. President, people have chosen protest because your talks have been rhetoric. You don't honor your word. You do not honor you proceed in a very obstinate manner with what you want to achieve. That's why they've involved the public to protest. But before I bring in the two eminent persons, let me just give a very brief about the Constitution, because the President made very, very misdirected views and thoughts. 1968 was the first amendment to remove what is called referenda of all referenda. Those days, to amend the Constitution, you're required to go to Constitution. I mean, to go to the people. And Dr. Kaunda was in a hurry, and yes, it was an election year, but one of the things he pushed that we should remove the referendum clause that allowed any constitutional amendment to go for a referendum. That was the first beginning of excluding our people in the constitutional making process. The 1973 fostered a one-party state, something that has endangered our history, is one of the darkest periods in our country, that 17 years from 1973 to 1990. In 1990, when there was that constitutional amendment is saying that there was an election year. Mr. President, there was no election year in 1990-91. We had just come from election in 1988. And the next election was 1993. There was no election that year. But there were food riots. There was instability. There was a huge debt on Zambia, $7 billion. The economy had collapsed. There were coup attempts on the president. Two, one in 88, another one in 1990. There was a wind sweeping across Zambia and across the continent for Zambia to revert to multi-party state and abandon the one-party state. So there was no election in 1991. Totally misdirected views. The amendment in 1996, he says there were no protests. There were huge protests. The president needs to be schooled. The church led a protest. It was what was called a green paper. Civil society even had a parallel conference when the actual constitution was being passed in parliament. The president doesn't seem to be aware that even the church raised serious issues against the 1991. While the MMD was celebrating the passing of that constitution, Kaunda alala, because that entire constitution seemed to have focused on barring Dr. Kaunda. That constitution brought again one of the worst instability, because by 1997 there was an attempted coup. Mr. President, you cannot embark on a process that threatens national peace, national security, national stability, and your reference to these processes appears poorly informed. Every time government has changed the constitution without our people, the consequences have been very dire. It's one of the reasons this constitutional delinquency by our leaders that seems to have regressed our country. Now today, I'm privileged. I've got my guest. Let me bring in Father Pombo to begin the talk. Sir, what do you make of those remarks by the president?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Ambassador Mwamba, and thank you very much, Professor Dr. Kalonde, for your presence. My greetings to the Zambian people, my greetings to my friends and all the stakeholders, and of course, I extend my greetings to my fellow clergymen and all those with goodwill. Thank you so much. I listened to part of the press conference of the president this morning. The first part is when he was talking, he was elaborating, he went through the things that the government has achieved according to himself. He talked about the CDF, he talked about the peace that in Zambia with the people are enjoying, and he talked about the respect of the rule of law. He talked about the achievements from the financial point of view, so the the CDF and other ideas and proposals. He talked about the investments. He talked about opening the mining sector, and he talked about also the increase in the exploitation of our minerals as an achievement. Then when I just heard, as you have just mentioned in your preamble, Honorable Mwamba, when the the president talked about the proposal of the Oasis Forum to march peacefully, and he said, I have invited the Oasis Forum and all those stakeholders who are involved to come into State House and to come and have a dialogue. I would like to comment, first of all, on this point. I remember vividly when Bishop Mpundu, there was a time when Bishop Mpundu had to go to State House. Mwamba, by that time, that was the time when Bishop Banda was insulted heavily. They called him Lucifer. And so that case was quite hot. It was quite difficult. And to mediate between Bishop Banda and Secretary General of the UPND, I think it was called, but is called Batuke Menda and other people, they changed the Catholic bishops. They chose 3 bishops to come and have a dialogue at State House with President Hakainde Hichilema. When Bishop Mpundu had to reach the State House, they were expecting this dialogue to be just in the way it is supposed to do, to be. Somebody explains his point, and then you listen to the others. Unfortunately, according to Bishop Mpundu, Emeritus Bishop of Lusaka, who I really have great respect, that man, just as a person, first of all, but also as a bishop, I owe really, really great esteem and respect. So Bishop Mpundu came out from that dialogue, from that conversation, and he said he was very much disappointed. The people who are watching us, even the President Hakainde Hichilema himself, Your Excellency Bishop Mpundu said, he said, that man is Chumbu Munshololo. I remember the words correctly. Why, then the journalist was asking, but my lordship, but why are you saying these words? And he said, we entered into State House. Instead of listening to us, he started lecturing us. Now, this is an example that I think many people, even those in the opposition, including the ruling party, some friends of ours who are in the UPND government, you remember these words of a servant of God, Bishop Mpundu. He said, it's almost impossible to have a cordial dialogue with President Hakainde Hichilema because instead of listening, he lectures the people. So now, what was our essence to be at State House if all he was going to do with us was to lecture us? Now, given that example, that's why now I come and I was listening. The president saying, please don't go and protest. I am ready to welcome you to open State House so that you can come and we dialogue. Here's my position now. Colleagues and Zambian people, all of us, we love our country. We love our country. We love even the diversity or the multi-party system of politics in our country. We are coming from a long way. 1991 up to today, many years has passed. We are coming from a long way, and we want to defend the multi-party system. So our president saying, I'm open to a dialogue, somehow I felt a little bit offensive to the bishops themselves. By the way, the one who was one of the members in this Oasis Forum is the chairman of the Catholic bishops in Zambia, who is in Kasama. So the chairman has asked the Zambian people to march peacefully because the president has failed to listen. The bishops, Your Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, the bishops have said that they were not against any sort of constitution amendment, but they said there was no to make such a noble process. And of course, if you remember Mwamba, you remember very well, they, like the Law Association of Zambia said, when they started this proposal, the method was not correct. The process of the amendment was unlawful, according to the Law Association of Zambia, because it was not the people-driven constitution amendment, but up to now, I myself, I don't know who proposed it and who drafted it. We have asked, can we know who did the draft of that constitution amendment? Up to now, they have never told the people, the Zambian people, who drafted that constitutional amendment. So for that reason, the bishops were so clear, crystal clear. It is not manifesting the people-driven constitution. So they said, we are open, but because the elections are next year, we do not have enough and ample time. Now, calling the president calling the bishops now, or the oasis, to come for a dialogue, it is very strange for me. It sounds very strange. They have asked for a dialogue. I am one of those people. I'm not important, but I'm a Zambian person. I'm one of the people who have been requesting, when are we going to be also given the opportunity to give our voices?
Indeed, Father. Indeed, Father, thank you very much. We need to go back to the basics. No one has opposed the constitutional making process, but they've advised, like the Constitutional Court advised the president, follow the law, follow ethics and principles guiding constitutional making process. Do not drive the process. This is a grand norm. It's a document of the people. It should be driven by the people, not by you or the executive. Abandon processes that are illegal. What they've been doing between him and Nelly Mut is totally illegal. The ruling, the Constitutional Court ruling, was very, very clear that to the extent that it called that the president had violated various pieces of articles of our Constitution. In fact, the president is in State House. Thanks because there is no impeachment process in Parliament. Thanks because the opposition do not have the numbers. Just going by the ruling itself, the president could not be holding power because he breached the Constitution. Even after the advice by the court, he proceeded to do a technical committee, again giving it a deadline of just 30 days. Who can gather adequate views about the Constitution in a period of 30 days, and that they should come up with a draft Constitution? And all the excuses used are not valid. Our people are saying, can we do the constitutional making process when it is ideal? He's citing the years of elections. 2001, President Frederick Chiluba tried. There was a rebellion. He attempted to amend the Constitution. There were protests in Parliament, on the street, until President Chiluba abandoned that 2001. I cited 1996, where they banned Kaunda. By the following year, there was a coup attempt in our country. I cited 1990. There was no election in sight. The election was only coming in 1993. But there were food riots. There were protests on the streets. There was a coup attempt. The instability of the country forced us to have that constitutional amendment. Because in 1990, the law didn't provide for multi-party democracy. So President Kaunda was forced to make the amendments. Article 4, as Zambians will remember, had to be amended. And this is where I bring even my dear brother, Wakalonde, who's a professor, and we hear his views because he started his life as a politician and he can give us his views. When you heard the president, Professor Dr. Kalonde, what did you make of this?
Thank you, Mwamba. And also thank you to Father. You see, when I heard the president speak, I know he was speaking from his heart. But unfortunately, some of the things he said were not telling us exactly what things are supposed to be. He never mentioned, he talked about all the constitutional changes that were tried or were done. He never mentioned Bill 10. Bill 10 was tried by PF and people said no. And UPND themselves said no to the change of the constitution. And most of the time they cited the elections that were too close. And fortunately, their friends heard the plea from the people of Zambia and dumped Bill 10. Then the other part that did not sit well with me is the president saying, meaning to Alibapata, Mr. President, we voted for you and we campaigned for you. I know I was not in Zambia, but knowing my constituents that followed me all along in my politics, we made a lot of digital placards campaigning for you. But you should not forget that, Mr. President, we still have our rights to change who to support. And it doesn't mean that you should put the Constitution to protect your position. That's not how things are supposed to be. Let the people speak. Let the people choose. That's what I can ask you to do. In his complaint, the president sounded like he has foreseen the downfall of UPND, or he has foreseen his loss of presidential elections. But it seems he's trying to find a way of talking to the people that we love him. Yes, we still love you. You are our brother, and you still remain our brother, Mr. President. But the fact is this. You know, presidents and these elected positions, they are like marriage. Once your spouse says, I'm done, you can't force yourself on them. No means no. You mentioned that we go to court. Yes, Munia and
Celestine.
Mukandila went to court and they won the case. So why are we going back to court, the court that has ruled already, Mr. President? Why do you want us to go back to court? To do what? So are you saying that you don't want to follow the ruling of the court? Is this how we are going to rule Zambia? Then in your complaints, I heard some parts that sounded a bit tribal. A bit tribal. Mr. President, you are the president of the nation. And as Mwamba started talking, he mentioned all the provinces And in all those provinces, Mr. President, you had a lot of votes. That's why you won the elections. It's all those provinces that voted for you. The numbers that came from northern province.
Oh, I'll bring in the professor. There seems to be a break. Oh, okay. Continue, Professor. There was a slight break.
Oh, I see. Sorry. So, to the people, and in your own words, Mr. President, you are afraid of what could happen in that country. And for sure, Mr. President, probably it is because of imposing the constitution on the people of Zambia. Now, the people coming to State House to protest, they are coming to State House. That is their State House. And when they come to State House, give them an audience. Listen to them. That is the dialogue that they want. They don't want a dialogue of you picking 6 people to go and talk to you. That's not right. Moreover, you picked the technical committee without asking anybody. The first time I saw the constitution, you were in Western Province at the youth rally. And you were waving this paper to the nation. I can tell you I've been following Zambian politics since I was in politics. I never heard about that constitution. I never heard about people sitting down to do the constitution until you brought it up. And why you brought it up, we don't know. And you said there are lacunas. Yes, there could be lacunas, but let the people change those lacunas. An executive duty, you go check the list of your duties. You can't change those things. Anytime you do that, Mr. President, just know that people will call you a dictator. If you do that by yourself, people will call you a dictator. And I don't think you want that name. I don't think you want that name. It's a name that has been related to awful, very horrible people like Hitler, Mussolini, all those people that were called dictators, Emperor Bokassa, Mobutu. You don't want to relate to those people, Mr. President. And I'm urging your advisors also to think about who you are as a family man. And I want you to think about what has happened in countries like Congo, our neighbors, since they had that dictator. Up to now, they've not settled well. Do you want us to go through that? You said it yourself, that this can happen. But it's not because of people going to the street. It's because of imposing constitution on them or laws on them. We're free people, we want to remain free, and at the same time, we want you to listen to us. We chose you for a purpose.
Thank you very much. Today we are hosting Dr. Gilbert Kalonde is an associate professor of technology education at Montana State University. He's a Zambian. He's settled in America for some time. And we have Donosco, our dear brother, Father Oscar Mwansa Pombo. He's based in Italy. He's a Catholic priest based in Italy. And we are discussing the Oasis Forum proposed constitutional amendment protest, the protest against the proposed constitution. The president took time today to justify his cause, thinking that every protest is violent. They've been very clear, from the Archbishop of Kasama to to the Oasis Forum spokesperson. And today something happened very, very sadly, where the Oasis Forum current chair was on the Copper Belt, where she was flagging off the gender this gender violence, 16 days against gender violence. And she revealed something very, very sad. The NGOC chairperson is Beauty Katebe. She says she received serious death threats. They are threatening her life. They are saying they will take her. They will do harmful things to her. Why? Because she chairs the Oasis Forum. Who's proposing violence? The president says, don't accuse me, because when you take a march, there'll be a larger group that will come and disrupt you or cause violence. Mr. President, where will you be as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces if protesters who have peacefully followed the law are coming to protest? Where will this large group come from, other than that you'll have sent it? Where will be your Inspector General of Police? Your duty is a sacred duty to protect rights of our people. If our people wish to march freely, peacefully, your duty and your entire police, and in your capacity as Commander-in-Chief, is to protect them, to ensure that that right is carried out. You cannot threaten them with an unknown group. The police have also issued another statement urging the Oasis Forum to cancel the march because they have information that there is unscrupulous people that will disturb and attack the protesters. The president says you meet a larger group. Who is promoting lawlessness? Who is promoting? And share the vote, share the broadcast, and will invite you to come to this. Let me just play the videos and I bring my guests again. They give their insights, then we'll call you to make your contributions.
Then they're saying, no, we are not allowing HH and UPND to amend the Constitution. The question is why? Because there are lacunas in there. Is it the first government to amend the Constitution? No. Who else amended the Constitution? In this manner, UNIP government. UNIP government. Bamuzungu is here. Bakurumpe. He was there. Institutional memory. UNIP amended the Constitution. The argument is that why you amend the Constitution now? So when is the right time? Fellow citizens, we were aggrieved as UPND, and I told my members, no one goes in the streets. Let's vote in Parliament. We voted and lost in Parliament. I never allowed our members to go in the streets. UPND, this man they don't like, for whatever reason. Right? You know, this level of hatred is shocking. Right? You can see that there's venom here. You can even touch it. There's venom here. We go to amend the Constitution using the same law, using the same Constitution, which was applied, clauses which were used before. It says, no, we don't want. The timing is wrong. But what about those other timings when it was amended? What was right? Why didn't you go in the streets? Ask yourselves a question. So you want to start conflict over nothing.
They trusted in God. Lesali bakosha. Vakana okusumina maisha abengi shinoshikana mumwana nguma politics abantu balanga folupia wala tuka naba bakusha wala tukana ekleza bamubalingira fenchito yabo bashikofu apenshi kuna balanda balebo obutego ata oshimulefu amona ulolu papulo tefyo echo tukendera pa 28 tuko abulefyo ngo twaliendapo kuli ba mwana wasa we walked nomba kapokola spokesperson yetu wati bakesa ne mfuti bakesa mukututinya esa mibelelo lusemwa chepa sana. Amen. We shall stand up for what is right. Bishop mulandu balanda mwabatuka balelanda ekishinka mutu webe nishi mule batukira uyindangote aye bakateka ati monanga wali bomba tetulela nda ukala sondafe bombe shobupera abantu ifi mwala mutuka ba bishop chama balande spokesperson apele bakusondele webele tukesana nifunde nshule konka. Are you a politician? Imotaba mikate uyalanda nkatuma abantu 15,000 bakesa myomoko yona ayamba kadaism tabalebeka tanomba moneni Daniel naba nankwe tabati nine tabaile sumino kuya mkunwa wine ya ku State House. Panemfu mtu wa sufficient mind, the King of Kings, he doesn't rule from State House. He doesn't rule from palaces. He rules from the cross. And this is the cross here to listen. Dokulande chinka kwa bulomwenso. Andrew and companions, bali vepaya. Nishi, ififine tule chitana lelo, bali lande chinka, icho Kristo wa bashirile, ba vepailapo. Go ahead, shoot, intimidate, take away all our rights, but we shall speak the truth. Ero kuliba presentation ingatemwa ayama funde kutikeni kuishiwi the voice of reason. Murupa pulefe muledo senda badi landa basambirira muni loba lazi bashani echo tule imira nimbi mwala posa kwa mano labeni kwa abantu balefwane nsala abantu ababafuresha baifara tabafuresha abantu abatwala amataba bala twashana abana ba ku university bala ali mashani ino November yala pota bale byala balefunya ku safe yakubyala abantu bale senda mensala abantu bale mona uko abana babo bale chula na tukwata bashimai na ba 96 2000 tababa folesha kuyu bize tukwisoko konsanga mwalolekesha aba abantu bale kabiro kubalandira kuno kubapele chibalingile ichichi ntinya ukula bikwika kwa mafunde ashilingile tatwake kale tondolo efo tufiro kuchitomwina Kristo onsa ba archbishop chama bakala baba shikofu onsa mu Zambia bali Twitter tutukendo kwabula ifyongo ndebukusha ile myaka twali abantu mendo twaliendele pona muno mwina mukitwe n'abana ba CBU palupapulo ba mwana wasa balefu abatwale twaliendele bali umfwile.
We need to thank the Catholic Church through their bishops for rejecting Bill 10, for providing leadership in rejecting Bill 10. We need to thank the Catholic Church through their bishops for rejecting Bill 10, for providing leadership in rejecting Bill 10.
These are farmers in Kasama protesting over unpaid FRA money. The police has tried to talk to them, but they have refused. So they are marching to FRA offices. This is in Kasama today on the 25th of November.
Thank you. I'm hosting Montana University Associate Professor Dr. Gilbert Kalonde and Catholic priest, my dear brother Donosco from Italy. The church, what should they do? The president is calling them again for dialogue. They've confirmed they'll go to State House because they've been called. But does this solve the problem? It is clear the people have, and all stakeholders have urged the president to abandon this cause. Let me start with Father Donosco. Will this yield any results? Because the president was told to listen, to follow what the law says, to follow what the judgment. He proceeded to set up a technical committee. And now he wants the same people to submit and make submissions to an illegal body, the so-called technical committee. This dialogue tomorrow, what do you think it will achieve? Father Oscar.
I strongly believe that the dialogue is not going to achieve what the bishop intends. Not only the bishops, because the bishops are just the voice of the many people. The dialogue can never heal a positive result, which the oasis and the bishops are requesting from President Hakainde Hichilema. What the bishops are requesting from the president is this: can you halt the amendment of Bill number 7? And I remember very well by in 2020, in 2021, when the bill 10 by that time failed to qualify. Bishop President Hakainde Hichilema used, I think it was an evidence. I'll use a pen. He said, Bill 10, and I quote, Bill 10 has nothing to do with delimitation process. A delimitation process indeed can even be proposed if necessary. Of course, clarifying which areas to be delimited and why. So Bill 10 by then, the President Hakainde Hichilema mentioned and he said, this is Bill 10. The whole of this is Bill 10. But there is also delimitation. Delimitation has nothing to do with the whole Bill 10. So Bill 10 can be stopped, delimitation can go ahead. Today, I would like to remember the president is the same situation. If there is agent to do delimitation because there are many constituencies which need to be tackled so closely, the Zambian people and President Hakainde Hichilema, Your Excellency, Bill 7 has nothing to do with delimitation process. This is the reason why they wanted to protest. We have mentioned, and some of us we have already mentioned on these platforms, which some people had even embarrassed us and they have called us names. We have mentioned on this place the Bill 7. There are toxic clauses, which Your Excellency, when you remember very well, you said, if somebody is chewing 10 nuts, groundnuts, and one is rotten, he will spit off his or her mouth all the groundnuts. So even only one groundnut is rotten. So it's the same thing. The Bill 7 proposal, there are some threats of hindering the democracy, the extension of the power of the president, the extension of the authority for the appointment by the president himself, and then of course maybe the cancellation of a possibility of a member to stand as a how do you call this, to stand as an independent. Any member that in that clause of Bill 7, there is a danger that they might cancel a possibility for an independent candidate to stand as the presidential candidate. So I can just mention maybe one, and I can confirm using the same words of President Hakainde Hichilema. Even if there's only one toxic clause, the whole process needs to be stopped. Is President Hakainde Hichilema going to accept this? I doubt. Having seen in 4 years how he has been conducting the governance of the country, I strongly doubt, and I would urge the Oasis Forum, after the dialogue, if you are not given, if it doesn't halt the process, I think you can go ahead on 28th, and we are going to support.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in Dr. Kalonde. Dr. Kalonde, your views.
It is just the same as the father said, actually. The sad part is the president is calling people when, because if he truly meant that he wants to dialogue, he should have listened to what people have been saying, or they've said before. There has been a kind of silent protest because of fear. People are afraid, and the fear is legitimate because of the situation that is prevailing in the country. And we should be able, in fact, to talk about those things too. As Zambians, people are living in fear. Few people and some bishops and some people who are really ready for anything. They are able to speak. But this is not the Zambia that we know. I'll tell Hakainde Hichilema. Hakainde Hichilema stood for elections how many times? And every time he stood for elections, he was given platform. He was given audience. Mr. President, do the same. Do the same. Ati Christian Walanda Chiwaminagalu Kulumambuzi. You can't be doing this. Let people do what they want to do. Let people vote who they want to bring this up. There is too much of politicians in jail today than ever before in our country. And Mr. President, if I have to be honest with you, there is nothing that has changed in Zambia apart from a new president and a new party. That's the only thing that has changed. The Zambians have been the same. Funny, jovial, ready to talk, ready to dance, ready to play soccer. Everything has been the same. The only thing that has changed is the leadership. Now, you should ask yourself, do you want to be a leader or you want to be a ruler? Do you want to be a leader or you want to be a ruler? Make a choice. I know people say a lot of things about your leadership, and we have heard a lot of things about this and that. But the fact is this: you are the only one who can change whatever perceptions people have on you. Even the hate you were talking about on your press conference today, it's only you, sir, who can change that. Nobody else. Nobody else can change that. Only you can change that. So, do the right thing. Instead of, in fact, even waiting for the protest, go back to the same platform where you were and say, there will be no Bill 7. We are not going to have it even in Parliament. We are going to wait until next year. That's the simplest thing you can do. Easiest and the simplest. Do not be adamant, stubborn on what you want. Sometimes listen to what the people want.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Kalonde Gilbert from Montana University is currently on holiday in California.
Those who feel uncomfortable, it is their prerogative to feel uncomfortable. I don't think there is a time when people are comfortable with the church. If you start getting a situation where people are comfortable with the church, then the church has stopped playing a prophetic role, because the church is not living in a vacuum. The church is living in a certain community at a certain time with certain conditions. So if our brothers and sisters are rejoicing, we rejoice with them. Our brothers and sisters are suffering, we suffer with them. Those who feel uncomfortable, it is their prerogative to feel uncomfortable. I don't think there is a time when people are comfortable with the church. If you start getting a situation where people are comfortable with the church, then the church has stopped playing a prophetic role, because the church is not living in a vacuum. The church is living in a certain community at a certain time with certain conditions. So if our brothers and sisters are rejoicing, we rejoice with them. Our brothers and sisters are suffering, we suffer with them.
Emeritus Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu giving that valuable information. I remember when I was young and I was a unionist, and we had formed a breakaway union from, there was a union for bankers called called Zufiao. So we formed one specifically, not for all financial institutions, but just for banks, called Bankers Union of Zambia. And our accusation was that Zufiao as a union was too comfortable with management. It didn't want protests, it didn't want strikes, it didn't want, yet our conditions were not good. And that is the church. As soon as you find it cozy with government, yet the people are suffering, that is the eternal advice that he's giving you. You ought, if you are rulers, all rulers have always been uncomfortable with prophets and men of God. Why? Because they tell the truth. But if men of God are dining with the rulers, you ought to worry. If unions are always siding with management, you don't need that representation. I'm opening the phone lines. I'm privileged that I've got Dr. Gilbert Kalonde, who's an associate professor at Montana University. I've called him from his holiday. As you can see, he's at a holiday in California. But for Zambia, he said, I'll come and speak. And then we have Father Oscar Pombo Mwansa, who's provided regular guidance to our country through his social media post and social media commentary. We are discussing President Hakainde Hichilema's 3 key issues on the Constitution. He has condemned the protest. Mr. President, not all protests are violent, and not all protests end in violence. There are peaceful protests, demonstration, picketing allowed by our Constitution. Anyone protesting is not breaking the law, Mr. President, as the image you wish to portray. Protest, demonstration, picketing are part of freedom of expression, and you ought to guarantee that. You have not guaranteed that since 2021. And it became very clear because you worry about investors, you worry about the image of our people. You've shrunk. Your police have regularly refused for us to hold public rallies, for us to have a public procession. In fact, the only procession that was successful and supported by the police was a gay parade by those girls. Any political process, your government has refused. Any march, there have been very few protests or public rallies that have taken place. Even this one, your police have issued another advisory, walking back on the authority they have given, advising the Oasis Forum to abandon the march because there is a group that has been organized to disrupt their process. All these things, Mr. President, go to the issue of your governance. We wrote a letter to SADC highlighting what you are doing to our country, that you've taken away freedom of expression, that you've shrunk the democratic space, that you've jailed your political opponents, prosecuted them, or you've arrested your political opponents, that you have caused a dictatorship in our country. And SADC has responded that they've scheduled a trip to Zambia and they would like to understand the concerns that have been risen against you. They are learning from what has happened in Tanzania. Very unfortunate, where the president muzzled the press, took over literally the Electoral Commission, Independent Electoral Commission of Tanzania, locked up all political opponents, barred the biggest political parties in the country. And when you say that narrative, it looks like you are talking about Zambia, because, Mr. President, you are in the process of stealing the largest political party in the country. You have placed the stooges on the patriotic front. You, Mr. President, is literally the president of the PF. You have mutilated our multi-party character of our country. So, to dear viewers, it's your turn. Maybe let's ask for the last voices from my guests, then we invite you to speak. Father Oscar, let me start with you.
Yes, I want to just contribute regarding the police and all the fear of the president that there are violent groups who might come and attack a peaceful group under the Oasis Forum. Now, first of all, it's not the first time that our president does not put trust in the professionality of our police officers. I would like to be very clear here. I trust the system of preparation of our police officers in Zambia. There might be some non-professionals, but in general, our police officers, they go for training and they are professional. When I went to South Africa, Mwamba, and we are ready for the burial of President ECL at the airport, at a private airport in South Africa. We met two generals there. I won't mention the specific positions. And these two generals, surprising enough, they were trained in Zambia. They were trained in Zambia in 2016. I don't know who was the president, but I think it was ECL, the president by that time. So 2016, these two generals from South Africa, they came in Zambia, they were trained in Zambia. So I am saying our police are professional. Our colleagues, the police officers, you are entrusted the peace of Zambia, not only the citizens of Zambia, but even the foreigners who are law-abiding people. The security of the residents in the country, including the citizens, is entrusted to your profession. And I believe it. You are capable of doing the job. I believe it without doubt. You are capable. Here where I am, yesterday we were in Rome on Sunday. There were about 1 million people. We went for the conclusion of the Jubilee, and so we had about 1 million people. And the police in this place, they had to take care of 1 million people who went into St. Peter's Square. Now, during the procession or during the peace march, the numbers are not going to reach 1 million. And I am going to refuse the fact that our police officers, they cannot maintain peace for 1 million people in a country where we are almost 21 million citizens, according to the last census. I refuse this narrative. The fact that our brother Liswaniso said he might go and join this process, very strange enough, because Liswaniso is in favor of Bill 7. Why he wanted to join the group who are going to march against Bill 7, only you, Your Excellency, you can explain this to Liswaniso. Mwaliteta, who promised to take in the Copper Belt 15,000 youths from Lusaka to go and accompany the president in Chingola, Mwaliteta said he's also ready to take these youth to go and accompany the process for asking the president to halt Bill 7. Now, Your Excellency, if you have intelligence and you have heard about certain groups that might threaten the peaceful protest or the peaceful march, there are these collaborators of the UPND, Honorable Mwaliteta, and there is our brother, youth chairman, Liswaniso. If you can just apply to them, they stop their youth from participating. I think our police are capable of protecting those who are going to be part of the peaceful protest. And that is what I wanted to appeal to the professionality of the police. Police officers, you are so professional. Just like the army, I won't talk about the army because they have always been professional. No one has ever invaded our country. Our army, we believe in their professionality. But the police officers, President Hakainde are women. They have gone for training and they are capable of curbing violent people and allowing the law-abiding citizens to march and exercise their freedoms and rights. Thank you very much, Omar.
Thank you very much. You've brought out a key point there. The statement from the police say they know that there's a group of people that are planning to disrupt the process. In normal countries, that group will be arrested, that group will be in jail. Gilbert Liswanis was threatened to disrupt the process publicly, is on record. He's still walking freely. Mr. President and the Police Inspector General of Police, why do you want to disrupt a peaceful protest, but you let the criminals roam? Dr. Kalonde, let me bring you in.
It is very unfortunate that we have to be discussing Zambia in these terms. Fear of cadres disrupting the process. What we know is that the protest that is being headed, I would say, by the Catholic bishops, the Oasis Forum, and the other NGOs that have some good thoughts about their country. I don't think they would be throwing stones or doing anything malicious. The unfortunate part is that we might have from the other side who might join in and do damage to the whole process. It's unfortunate that people have very short memory or they don't think beyond their northers. UPN is not going to be in office forever, ladies and gentlemen. And we should also realize that things happen. And when things happen, you might be the one who caused it. Can you believe you caused or even death? What is your benefit in this? Honestly, what is your benefit? You're going to leave your home, or I leave my home to go.
They trusted in God. Lesali bakosha. Vakana okusumina maisha abengi shinoshikana mumwana nguma politics abantu balanga folupia balatuka naba bakusha balatuka na ekleza bamubalingira fenchito yabo bashikofu apeshiko na balanda balebo obutego ati awo shimulefu amona ulolu papulo tefyo echo tukendera pa 28 kwa bulefyongo twaliendapo kuli ba mwana wasa we walked nomba kapokola spokesperson ati wati bakesa ni mfuti bakesa mukututinya we shall stand up for what is right. Bishop Mulandu balanda mwabatuka balelanda ekishinka mutu wewe nishi mule batukira uyinda ngota eba kateka ati monanga wali bomba tetulela nda okala sondafye bombe shobupera abantu ifi mwala mutuka ba bishop chama balande spokesperson apele bakusondere webele ntukesa na nifunde shule konka are you a politician? Imutaba mikate uyalanda nkatuma abantu 15,000 bakesa myumoko yona yamba kadaism tabalebeka tanomba moneni Daniel naba nankwe tabati nine tabaile sumino okuya mukunwa wine ya ku State House panemfu mtu wasefishe mailo the King of Kings. He doesn't rule from State House. Amen. He doesn't rule from palaces. He rules from the cross. Amen. And this is the cross here to listen okulande chinka kwa bulomwenso. Andrew and companions bali vepaya nishi ififine tule chitana lelo bali lande chinka icho Kristo abashirire babepayilapo. Go ahead, shoot, intimidate, take away all our rights, but we shall speak the truth. Ero kuliba presentation ingatemwa ayama funde kutikeni kuishiwi the voice of reason. Murupa pulefe muleto senda bali landa basambilira muniloba lazima shani echo tule imela nimbi mwala posa kwa mano labeni kwa abantu balefwane nsala abantu ababafuresha baFRA tabafuresha abantu abatwala amataba bala twashana abana ba ku university bala ali mashani ino November yala pota bale byala balefunya ku isefu yakubyala abantu balesenda mensala abantu balemona uko abaana baabo balechula natukwata bashimayi n'abamu 96 2000.
What does the Constitution say? It's silent. UNIP amended the Constitution in 1991. Limbina Mulava. In the election year. 1991, in the election year. People celebrated. 1996, MMD under President Chiluba, Aka Red in Aka Black. May his soul rest in peace. Right? Yes, that man did a lot of things to turn the country from a wrong direction, in my view. I don't want to debate this. May his soul rest in peace. We don't appreciate a lot of things he did to move us downhill into a positive trajectory. 1996, the MMD and the FDJ amended the Constitution in the election year. There was no problem, no street fights. Same organizations didn't go in the streets. By Kalafia Tondolo, and the Constitution is being amended. No street fights. 2016, under PF, the Constitution was amended. Right? Election year. In January, the election was in August. They amended the Constitution. No one went in the streets. We were aggrieved as UPND. And I told my members, no one goes in the streets. Let's vote in Parliament. We voted and lost in Parliament. I never allowed our members to go in the streets. UPND, this man they don't like.
Okay, dear viewers, the lines are open. You can now make your contributions. The president, like I narrated earlier, that even the facts are escaping him. The process in 2016 was a bipartisan process supported by both PF and UPND. They didn't abscond. What President Hakainde Hichilema absconded was a referendum that was put together with the elections of 2016. But the actual constitution, look at the records, look at the Hansard, it was supported overwhelmingly by both UPND and PF. It's the only document that has been a bipartisan document. The lines are open, make your calls, and let's hear from you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and I hope you'll be brief.
I'll be brief. Good evening, Mwamba. This is a wonderful topic where all Zambians are concerned about the constitution amendment, where the president, he wanted to show sympathy. And this is what President Hakainde Hichilema, for the last 4 years, he has been preaching the same. When you analyze all his speeches, he would blame the PF, he would bring in the people who were killed, but he has forgotten. I want just to remind the president that he has forgotten to talk about the people who died in Mufumbo under his regime. When he said, under his regime, no any youth is going to be killed. In Mufulira, they killed. But today, instead of talking about the constitution amendment and to say, I have heard, let's postpone, then we continue engaging one another. The president, he always wants to seek sympathy, which is very dangerous. Then the president, he wants to look like Zambians, they hate Tongas or they hate him because he's a Tonga. No. 2.5 million people, even those who did not vote for him, is our president. We love him. But if he's the president who wants to wear only one language instead of wearing 73 tribes, this is where my heart bleeds, Mwamba. Because when you look at today, in UPND, the president is the one who gives signal to whatever is happening today. Look at how they are coming out in numbers to say that they are going to beat up people. Sure, who can stand up and go and beat the church members who are going to protest peacefully? He called himself an elder. An elder is the person who is supposed to say, okay, Wane, let's sit down. I have heard and I make this decision so that no blood should spilled over. As I conclude, Mwamba, let's pray Zambian about President Hakainde Hichilema so that he can hear the word in the innermost of his heart. He can hear the word of God so that he can make the right decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Callers, the line is open. We are discussing the protest that is supposed to take place on Friday by Oasis Forum. The president has discouraged it. The police have discouraged it. The UPND have threatened. And the call is very simple from most stakeholders. Abandon the process. Abandon the process. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Jambo. Ambassador, I am very, very shocked and sick at the same time because that press briefing from the president today, you wouldn't have imagined something coming from the State House. You'd have thought like it's something that came from the Institute of National Gaslighting, like just trying to add fuel to the fire. You could see how someone is so threatened by just a peaceful demonstration. And all what he was doing was just laying the ground and telling his base on what they needed to do to make sure that everything that was supposed to be done today, what's supposed to be done on Friday stops. So he was basically telling his troops, he was communicating with everyone, telling them, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to stop, talk, what's them case here and stop this. But the God we serve is so powerful because this is not a protest. Imagine if it was just organized by the Patriotic Front. But this is the church. These are the people that backed him during Bill 10. Not backed him, but they backed the right thing for the country. And they've always been doing this for the country. But this man is a very dangerous man for our country. And for those that are sleeping and thinking that 2026 is going to be easy, I think they have to wake up. This is not going to be easy. What I saw on that podium today was someone that is willing to do everything to stay in power. And some of the things that he was saying there, referring to hatred, describing how he looks, and telling that there's nothing I can do. All those things, telling people about how to appreciate life. Does he understand the privilege of being the president of the country of Zambia? People cannot even afford to have 2 meals in a day. He can have as many meals as he wants. He can have all the security, no load shedding, no issues. He can eat anything he wants to eat. People that are ungrateful in this world. And I was telling myself, you're going to forgive me. I was saying that I thought, women complain. Dear me. Today, Mozambia, ngakwali bomuntu ukomplaina kuchira bamdala bali abacho podium padanishi paliba problem. The man can complain. A president never plays the victim. You take responsibility, accountability of your issues and go with them and try to see how you can bring change to the country. We have to be very, very careful going forward to make sure we do a proper audit of people's character, personalities going forward, so that we do not even have a repeat of anyone who is even 5% like that man that we saw today. That is nothing presidential. That was an embarrassment in any developed country. some of his MPs would have been putting in letters of no confidence. And they say, you know what? No, we can't deal with this. You do not fight with the church. You do not fight with those organizations. They are there. He's there. Without those organizations, he would not have been there. And he needs to understand that those organizations have been protecting our institutions and how we live. And that's one of the reasons why he's there. But now, just because they say no to him, and then they start talking about tribal. We need serious prayers.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Robert.
I'm even thinking, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It's a very dark day for our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robert. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. I'm Teddy calling from Lusaka. Ambassador, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Teddy. Make your contributions.
Well, I would love to usher this government when they were in opposition. And the issue the president talked about that UNIP made the constitution change in 1991. It's a different scenario because we were moving from multi-party to single state into multi-party. So there is no hash, there wasn't any hash, but today there is a rush to enact a law which pushes the president into another 7 years. Who is ready again to go into this kind of suffering for another extra 2 years? We are not. We are not ready. So therefore, we continue to say Bill 7 is a shamble. They should be fighting for the freedoms of our young people who were killed as illegal miners at the preference of foreign investors who are getting away our mineral soil. And those are the constitutional changes which they should fight for to put into law. They should enact laws that protect the mining system where these investors that come in society run away with our billions of dollars in unpaid tax. Those are the constitutional changes that are supposed to be there. They must look at the constitutional reforms that stabilizes the economy, constitutional changes that stabilizes our technology, constitutional changes that places our economy at the most highest level by encouraging Zambians to invest. So this is not a rush. They should not rush for. They should rush to correct the economy and the threats that are coming from the head of state. It's like they are inciting their cadres to rise against the church. When politicians go into an election, they go to the church. When the church stands up to defend what is wrong, they say stick to the pulpit. Then the politicians should also respect themselves and avoid going to churches. Because, and I call the churches to stand up now. The notion to say we serve with the government of the day, suppose they are stealing, they are killing innocent people from Mufumbwe. Is that wrong part of the church? We are misrepresenting Jesus Christ who came to fight the Pharisees who were oppressing the Gentiles. The church should stand up and fight this injustice. Those who are paid brown envelopes in the name of siding with the government of the day, they are wrong and misplaced pledgemen. So we must stand as Zambians to defend the truth, to defend our constitution and speak for the poor who can speak. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
I go to Chingola, Chiwempala. People are throwing stones, attacking a sitting head of state, the same guy they were attacking in opposition. That day, I had to shout. I saw one policeman raising a gun to shoot at a guy who was throwing stones at me. I shouted, you follow the videos, you hear my shout. If I did not shout, there could have been 30 body bags there. There could have been dead people there. Other presidents would have basically allowed people to have been killed there. Because you try and do that to a head of state, you are killed. You are shot to be killed, not to be injured. I said, no, I will not have blood on my hands. As I stopped the UPND members to revenge, to attack those who were beating them, those who were killing them, I said, do not do it. Chiwempala said, no. I shouted, I said to the policeman, no one shoots here, no one. But we have seen in other countries how many people are being shot at. I said no.
I've got a caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ambassador
Good
Mwamba.
evening. Make your contribution, my brother. Introduce yourself and make your contributions.
Okay. Today, for me, really, it was a sad day. This is essential. It was a sad day, rightly so, because I expected the president to be a statesman in the sense that speech amidst what Zambians we are going through. I expected that the speech will unite us, provide moral compass, so to say, for the country amidst what we are going through. But just to bring you to speed to what he called as the elephant in the room, basically it's Bill 7. All what happened was the intimidation, blame game, playing victim, so as to one have his way. You know, I remember the words of the late President, may he so rest in peace, President Edgar Chagwalungu, when he said, after the speech, because it was just eating tinya. So you cannot lead people by eating tinya. You provide leadership, you engage, and there's always a give and take. You cannot have it your way. So for me, the president still have the room or the latitude to make good on this matter. And even when the Officers Forum goes ahead with the demonstration, let it provide leadership that the police provide protection to the protesters. It is the constitutional right of every Zambian, unlike how he portrayed as though it is an offense, it's a crime to protest. It's not the case. So for me, I anticipate the president that actually he will do the right thing, allow the people to protest, provide protection, without which, whatever will happen again, the back will stop at him. So for me, I think much is required of him as the president of Zambia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Wamunkonjawa.
Mamunkonge, make your contributions.
Ambassador, kwena nde balira pali bakateka pakula nde okwebati bakateka bali bapata narabwerera kunuma nende ukishairo baemwe mdi bayishire mu kuchimsha bakaunda ba Catholic na bishops abengi bali afwire ya group ya baemwe mdi ba mwana wasa concerning leadership before tabarapoka no buteko bachiruba bali bomfesha mali resources ya katolika ngo konzoko bale amuku mukukampena bale bapokerera mu convents rafine ukupera na ina intware jabo yonse fyakulya mpaka wakaunda bali fulirwe na sana bambire no kuramdo kwebati bakawa bakatolika ngana pita mukendera pali corona kuya kulomu lero after bachiruba basateka pali bukateka bapita balitire amacheches yonse epo na amacheches muzambia yayishire fula nomba pali amacheches ya kuruba UCZ ba katolika bali beteno okuya kuma state house abenge first time bangire pona kuma state house ini appreciating akaena ayenge ama convents ayenge ama missions hospital wa government bali search tako donate under the Chiruba leadership kusta donate mufipatara fyama missionaries batwara mwemyotoka koro buteko bwambiro kutekwa first term cyari febuno second term bakatolika bali samuno kweba chao bachirubo fe tware msapota na abantu benu wambo okuchusha bena Zambia bachirubo bali bemini apaswe kane fyengero filya ichengero filya tware berenga nga chafika pache chipamwa ndo akusoporora fe chuba ishina abashitaka magazini chengero bachirubo tabakwete po mutende babeba awe fete fye muringiro kuchita abantu bachirubo tabambiri okurando kweba tawe because chirubo abantu bali mutemeno sana bantu nishitayirire ku bantu ufoni ba abama bishop bali mpataro lishene fo bambo kuranda aho tubako nkenye po fyokuteka frafine ba ama bishops nabena bale sta checks and balances yakaena kura isura abantu emitwe ukurandira kwa abantu mpaka kwa isa ba mwana wasa bena problem washire kwa tapo ni pali ine bill bale fo aicharo chibe muri secure nation kwali ku state demonstrate mu street mulia nama videos yambi mukayatambishe poko bati charo chini Christian nation nibamu bene bakatolika bayimini bamwana wasa tabayimine pokora ndo kwe batyo ne nicho ali mu accident mwali mpata njumulenje nishbali beni kaniki cabbage nishani bamwana wasa tabayimine pokora ndefyo ukwisa kuri ba Edgar Lungu bali bapokerere kuri bakatolika rero bambira okukitefirubo bakatolika bare basonta mu ba Edgar Lungu no kubabika panshi tabayimine pokwa mboko asukatawe iwe fyurenje ba imwe fyurenje aba patiri ishibeni fyo ukushimikire che wow tefa chifuire cha station chaba ba ambassador bakateka one ndero mbako bushe ku Southern province na ku North Western ku Western kwena nsharande ko kwena kuri fyo bwino nomba Southern province North Western bushe takwaba kwa abantu abengarandira kwe charo cha Zambia because if bakateka barera ndati bali mpata tuare fyumfira patari nomba tuambo fyumfira pepi ichare ngati ku Southern province kulya bale votera fe ba HH beka basho baranda kulya ba HH baya kulyo kwe batine bali mpata ukuchita brainwash abantu kubebira amano onse bala ba Southern province bakwe bati bambyo ku support ba HH pantu bali twara kapaturura kulya nomba busheta kuri ko ntungurisho ku Southern province ishifure na shena shaima shabika ba president munshira because so bachita brainwash abantu ku Southern province na ku North Western ku Western province bale chita brainwash but kwena kuri abasango kwe bati ndetotera ba ku Western bena bali babashi bali bafe pakati tababa ba kwe bati nifi bara understand nomba ama province yabiri abali yachita brainwash so fira bachita brainwash North Western na Southern ifira leta mucharo pantu nangukura nshanya because fira balera ndokwe bati abantu ndebe bati sentura nshanya tiyo turi afye bali afye mukura ndauka mu musebo nomba bobeni abantu refu again uranshanya nabo bati kuchintu wingi ureba mwene shamo nomba nishi chirishani nangwa mano yabakateka nishi ni peso po bayiminina because barabarefu aya already na abasarura kale uko batira protest barefu okuchita yakurandira kwa abantu tabakwete amano nomba abantu bosarura uko bati cyo barefu okuchita fikwete amano nomba kuri orebeta already nishi nabapokerera kale message yakuba susha mu mano.
Thank you.
Yakurya finishe fe mwarara nshanya ife aratumbukamo because bakateka bachiringa fyo kuranda tiririashi nshara ndepo lero ni ngufo kwe bati barefu ayo kuchita demonstrate kuringana n'ensambu shabo lero fingi fya kuranda tukaranda na bena pantuni mbeta mwe ba support abandi nkesa myebako ifika tumbuka mufe tukaranshanya na bena so please bakateka babwesha amano Zambia charo chabonse tapa bano abapata abantu babavotere bengi bali batemwa kansha abantu nomba bararando kwe bati Frafina tatware kuvotera abantu bareranda temano wakwata twayamona kanshishinka nomba bali abantu nga bachinja amano bare tontonkanyati tibasaba votera teto bavotere panto bale bavotera bali imyaka 20 ni basapota babo bali fira nokupita mpaka abantu nomba bapone namo babapisha so bena bare monanga taruka abantu basapota babo baraba bika pantanshi bena babwere ku bantu chisuma ba ambassador.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Pumulos Tumbeko from California.
My dear sister, welcome and thank you for your contributions. Please make your contributions.
Thank you so much. Greetings to the panelists. My old time school friend, Professor Kalonde, and Father Oscar. Greetings to you and thank you for your incredible contributions. But yeah, like everybody else, today is a sad day for us to hear the president come again to the podium with the same rhetoric. Yes, number one, Zambia Yabonse, it is our constitutional right to demonstrate, and I think it is wrong for the president to come and preempt a march that is organized by mother bodies of the most respected institutions in the country who have a history of protecting the same constitution to which the president wants to violate. The second point I want to note is Zambia police has the mandate to protect the country, to make sure it is safe in our country. So for them to be writing letters to discourage a peaceful march is rather shameful, because we have not seen them write those same letters when UPND is protesting. For the past 4 years, Zambia has been a playground for UPND doing whatever they want to do, even marching without protest. I dare them to produce the permit or the correspondence they have been sending to police for the marches, many marches they hold. Everyone in UPND can just wake up and protest. Zambia ya won't say, okay? And this thing of saying you are hiding in the church, no. You know, the church, first of all, in the country, the president is the father of the nation. And Zambians have been going to the father of the nation, Hakainde, to cry. And he hasn't listened. So now the Zambians have turned to the churches. So the churches have heard the cry of the Zambians. That's why Oasis has come up. If the president was a listening president, we won't have Oasis Foundation championing this march. And instead of the president explaining how much he's hated, he should have taken the time to explain each clause in the Bill 7. I don't even see why he wasted time talking about all those necessary things. I think he would have made his case stronger by taking each clause and explaining it what it means. The fact that the president cannot even explain what each clause entails simply means it is a poisonous clause, a poisonous bill. He should have come out and challenged to say, talk about the 3 million. There is news all over that some MPs are being paid 3 million to sign off Bill 7. He didn't say that. He should talk about that to say there's news of people being paid 3 million, but he's pointing directly to him, so he avoided talk about it. Because I am just asking a question, who is paying the 3 million, and why can the president talk about the real burning issues instead of talking about a tribe? Myself, I'm a Matonga woman. I have lived on the Copper Belt since I was 4 years old. And all my friends, male and female, they are from Luapula. The professor there, Gilbert Kalonde, is my friend from Luapula. We knew each other a long time ago, all my friends, literally. So this thing of saying Tongas are hated is just a way of divide and rule. We are not going to fall for it. But President, if people hate you, don't use the language, the Tonga tribe, to justify your weaknesses. I think the president, to be honest, sir, you should accept what people are telling you and be able to justify or be accountable to your accusations instead of running to the tribe whenever you are faced with the questions.
Thank you,
churches. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
the last thing is that we don't hate you. Ulupato is not hating you, but we are just trying to stop you from abusing the Constitution to consolidate your power. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Queen Pumi. Thank you, Queen Pumi. I've got a caller here. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you very much. Oh, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, I will opt to be anonymous.
Anonymous, tell us.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. What I want to state is that, first and foremost, I want to thank you, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, for the excellent work you are doing and for the letter that you highlighted to SADC. I think that effort deserves to be commended. We thank you very much for highlighting the atrocities that are happening in this country.
Thank you.
Well, I listened to the press conference. And you see, what is there is that, you see, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, I've been around for some time. I've been listening to press conferences called by KK, by all the presidents. And I find this press conference. The president calls the entire nation, I'll be addressing the nation. And when you come back and from the beginning to the last, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. I've never seen this. I don't know what crime we committed in this country. And the president says that people hate him. Yes, Mr. President, people hate you because of the hunger you have bestowed on the Zambians. Yes, Mr. President, people hate you because of the darkness you have inflicted on the people of this country. Yes, Mr. President, people hate you because of the misery that you have inflicted on the people. Don't rush into tribe. No one doesn't like you because of it. People hate you because of your lies that you got. You lied to the people of you abused the people of this country. You lied to them that you'll be giving them fertilizer at 250. That you'll be giving them petrol at 12 kwacha because PF was stealing. These are the reasons why people hate you, Mr. President. You see, Mr. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, this president needs to be told that he can no longer be hiding behind the desk. He is now exposed. The whole world now knows him for who he is. So I think that you see, why did he allow the situation to degenerate to this level? The president had this, what you are saying, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, and all the horses fall up. Is panic. Is a person who is in deep panic. Is panicking there. He had enough indications. The first indication was the paramount chief Mpezeni. He rejected this thing. This constitutional thing has been rejected. Me, I thought that when he was holding the press conference, he was going to announce that he's demolishing everything. Laz rejected it. The church has rejected it. Why? You see, this president, and I want to tell these people of this country are eager to demonstrate. We are ready to demonstrate, and it's like this is a president who seems to be bloodthirsty. And maybe when we give him a lot of blood, that's when he's going to understand that we don't like what he's doing.
Okay, my dear brother, let me take other calls.
What he's doing, not because of his tribe.
Thank you.
We all liked Mazoka. Mazoka was there. Everybody liked him. Is there anybody who hated Mazoka? But we don't like this president because of his lies, Ambassador Emmanuel. He lies this person in the morning, mid-morning he's lying, in the afternoon he's lying, even in the evening he's lying. How can you lie like a person who lies like that? He was telling people that people are eating in schools. When he was asked to say, these micro indicators that you are talking about, when are they going to translate in people's pockets, in people's homes? He said that children are eating in schools. Which schools is he cooking shima for them? Because all the schools have gone everywhere. There's no school that you find children eating here. It is only maybe his schools in southern province where his relatives who are eating. Otherwise, in all these government schools, there's no school that I've seen where people are cooking for people. But the man is completely detached from reality. He's living in his own illusion.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. So many calls. Let me take the other calls. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. It's Jabota Moetwajilinda, spokesperson for the Movement for Good Governance, Ichabache, who scored in.
Thank you, my dear brother. Make your contributions.
Ambassador, I'll say this. President Hakainde Hichilema has dented the image of the people from Southern Province. This is something I've been wanting to say, and this is something I have to get off my chest. Everybody is looking at us with a side eye because of President Hakainde Hichilema. And how he's done this, he has lied to the people of Southern Province that when you remove me from power, the rest of the country, that's what basically he's been telling them when he goes this side. If you watch some of his videos when he's holding a rally, whether if it's in Choma or Mazabuka, he speaks like he's trying to radicalize the people in Southern Province to make them think like, he's creating that cult mindset, the us versus them mindset. And then when he goes to Northern Province, he preaches love, unity, and togetherness. But you will never hear him speak about love, unity, and togetherness when he's in Southern Province. He speaks like, hey, those are our enemies, and we need to defend ourselves. Okay? Which is why he's always gaslighting people. He's always playing victim, telling people out there. This is why now they have blurred the lines between hate and criticism. Anyone who criticizes President Hichilema, they'll label you are bitter, you hate him. And this is something that he has been building for quite some time. He's brainwashed the people of Southern Province. He's manipulated them. This is why you can only see 2-3 people who can come out and speak against the injustice going on in his country. You can only count a handful of people from the South who can come out here and criticize him. Because to them there, he has told them that ababantu bali mipata. But in Ambassador Mwamba, I'm telling you, as a half Bemba, half Tonga, it is biting me here. When the Tongas think Bembas hate them, it bites me because I'm a product of 2 people. 2 sections of the world, of the country. My grandmother is from Kawambwa, okay? My grandfather was from Joma, Siaskabole village. Singani is my chief, okay? But this poison President Hichilema is creating, this us versus them, is what is destroying us. This man didn't come to unite this country. He came to divide it. Why? Because for him, it's divide and rule. The only way he believes people in Southern Province can be loyal to him is by telling them he is the only one who can protect them. President Hichilema has the God complex. He has this Messiah syndrome in his head where he thinks only him can do it. Any Tonga who's risen to challenge him to say, okay, Naine, I can be president, he has managed to find a way to put them down. Where is Vahamututu? Tongas should have had a new option to say, like, look, if it's not Hagainde, I can go for Hamdudu. Where is Vahamututu? He just wants to be by himself. The Tongas and the people from Southern Province, the Ilas, they are yet to discover that they too are victims of this manipulation. It's not the opposition that is destroying. Because after he's finished ruining the opposition, who is he coming for? Them. They think he's with them, Kairi, they are supporting him. He's Muntu Watu, and this way to Lalela. He's our man. But they will soon find out that once he's done with everybody who's fighting him, who's criticizing his poor leadership, he's coming for them next. Why? Because President Hichilema is a narcissist. And he just thinks about himself. Today, he had an option. He had an opportunity to redeem himself, to speak about what people have been talking about. But what did he do? He blamed people. He had been pointing fingers. He played victim. He dismissed anything that people wanted to talk about. We thought he was going to take a deep dive in Bill 7. He didn't. He has tossed it aside. Why? Because in him, the only mindset he has is Bill 7 must pass for I want to get what I want. That's what President Hichilema is thinking of. Like the author Sang Tzu, he said, an evil man will burn his entire nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. And President Hichilema is doing exactly just that, where he is willing to break all our institutions, from the judiciary, the legislature, the executive, manipulate ECZ, everybody else, so long he gets what he wants. And then when people bring him to account, he plays victim. Inemwali impata, you hate me. And that makes him very unfit to continue being the president of this country. That's all I wanted to say. Otherwise, not Chinkalipaine.
Thank you. At least you've aired your views. Chabota Mwetwa Chilinda has spoken. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, my name is Concerned Citizen. I'm calling from Lusaka.
Concerned Citizen from Lusaka, make your contributions.
Yes, I just wanted to ask Ambassador, does it mean that now me to complain about load shedding, to complain about the fact that our mining taxes are we're not extracting mining taxes from the mines, and they're getting away with nothing. For me to complain about the fact that fuel prices are high. For me to complain about the fact that my business cannot function in an orderly manner because I don't have electricity. I have to wait for my Tumbuka cousin Muhawe Lungu to become president. Then people will say that I'm complaining rationally and I'm not being tribalist. Because it's this type of gaslighting, this type of dividing us is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's not the right thing, and it's not the right thing. For example, Chawata has just come and made some very clear comments about how he feels strongly against what is going on. What about me, who's a father, as a Tumbuka man, a father who has Tonga children of Tonga lineage? Are you telling me that those two children who have Tonga lineage in this presidency should feel that they're more important than my other children who have Bemba or an Eastern lineage? Is this the kind of division that this man wants to bring in my country? Because it's my country. I'm Zambian.
Thank you. Thank you,
Is this the type of division?
Thank you,
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. My name is Nancy. I'm calling from Zambia.
Nancy, go ahead with your contribution.
Today's press conference, I did not have much hope when I heard he's going to be addressing us. I assumed it's the usual blame game of the PF and everything. But it's so sad. What came out today was, I think, the worst that I've ever seen coming from our head of state. It was totally he was speaking from his heart. He was not following anything written. So he was really pouring himself out. And I think what makes it so sad is that he focused so much on spreading hate, but at the same time claiming that he is the one who has united this country. Saying that somebody once said, "I'll divide this country." Have I divided it? No, I've actually united this country. United it how? People want to exercise their democratic right to protest peacefully, airing their views, and you say meet people who overpower you. So it tells me that post we saw by Gilbert Liswaniso a few days ago has his blessings, because there's no way that they can say the same thing. If people want to protest, people who wanted to march in solidarity after the stoning incident in Chingola did so freely on the Copper Belt. I don't know if they had a permit or whatever, but they did so freely, and it was a peaceful march. So why can't these ones do the same? And how does someone reduce our complaints as a country, as citizens, to tribe because I'm of this tribe? He won with a huge landslide, over 1 million votes. How can people who hate you give you over 1 million votes above your closest opponent? How does that even make sense that he feels when we say we don't like what you are doing, then it's because of his tribe? Does he believe that the only people who voted for him in 2021 are people from his tribe? The votes he was getting in the other provinces were all people of his tribe. It's really shocking, and it's really sad. And to me, it doesn't give me hope for where we are going, that we are going to see any real unity, and there's any desire to create unity in this country by the current government. And worst of all, it's coming from the topmost person. So really, I think this has been the lowest that the president has sunk to in all his I don't know, 4+ years of leadership. It's really sad, and it tells me that we'll see more violence as we go, because the people within his party who come out and say threatening statements, they know where they stand. It's like when they say that when a blind man says, "I'll stone you," he knows where he's standing. This is what it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. There are so many calls, but we have to allow our guests to come in, then we begin to wind up. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, Mama, tell us. Yes, yes, caller.
Good evening, Ambassador. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ambassador Mwamba. My name is Mrs. Anon from the High Kingdom. I just also want to share my views on what has transpired in our country today. My heart actually is heartbroken. I'm bleeding inside there because when I heard, believe you me, Ambassador, for some reason today I said, let me listen to what the president is going to say because I don't listen. But today I had to listen because I needed to hear him. I can tell you that whatever everybody who was called, who's on the panel, has said is what I'm feeling right now. And I feel like Chabota, where my heart feels like, you know what, am I a Zambian? No. For a president, in the first place, the whole speech is all rhetoric, or it's a presser, it's all rhetoric. It was about himself, or not on the nation. Then, the timing of the presser is also something that is questionable. Why did he have to come on the day, like today, when he says he's going to address the nation, when he heard that the people are going to do a protest on Friday? On top of that, he even asked them to come and see him and do the dialogue on tomorrow. Why? Why are you so much in a panic mood to stop this protest? And then the whole thing that hated most in that presser is the disunity that he preached. As the father of the nation, he should have preached unity, but he preached disunity. You can't have a president on the podium telling the nation to say, those of you who are going to protest, doing toy protest, what if you come and meet a strong person? Who can say that as a president? Tell me, Ambassador. Instead of him addressing the issue to say, you people want to protest, I welcome you. And for those who want to stop this protest, please, I let the people want to do the protest come and see me. That is the father of the nation. Not to say, what if you meet the strongest? Meaning what? The worst part of it, Ambassador, he talks about cadalism that was in PF. He forgets about the cadalism that his own MP said, we are now back to cadalism. He does not denounce that. He does not even denounce what happened to PF Secretariat when those cadres went to PF Secretariat. He does not talk about it. He does not even talk about it. The attack that was done on acting president of PF, given Luinda in Kabwe, he doesn't talk about that. What does he talk about? His own attack in Twempala. Would you say this is a president who's preaching unity? He really disappointed me as a president.
Thank you, my dear.
The kind of ego that man has is really, I'm ashamed to be a Zambian and to put him there as a president because he is a bad president. That's my submission.
Thank you, thank you. Let me take two last callers so that we allow my guests to come in. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
This is Kelvin Chanda Kafwimbi calling.
Make your contributions.
Yes, please. What I want to say is that there was the third previous caller, the one from Southern Province, that expressed his very, very disappointment with the president.
Yes, Chabota Chilinda Mwetwa.
Yes, Chabota Chilinda Mwetwa, yes. So that one took a lot out of what I wanted to say, and it is good that he did it, because me being from Mwansagombwe, it was going to sound like I was being a very tribal person, but which is very good that someone from his own place did that. But what I want to talk about is the president's problem here is what is called a two-factor failure. I'm not an educated person. I'm a mechanical person. Where you say a two-factor failure means when the machine fails and then the assembly parts fail. The problem is Baitlema is in that state, and this is what everyone is still trying to explain. For us in the layman, we say the problem that he has got is that a lot of people that are with the president, they are in alleged crimes. Alleged. I'm not saying they are criminals, but I'm saying they are in alleged crimes. So they are going to support the president's wrongs despite him even being wrong. So that's why this man is not being advised even correctly. People like Liswaniso or all these people, what they've done, if the government had to change today. So these people will go to extreme lengths. And when I hear someone like Oscar Mpombo talking, Father Oscar Mpombo, is a lot younger than me, but and all respect granted to him, he's a father. When they talk and then they say, we want to listen to what we are saying, can't this man just get some people to help him? We have this problem. The president has lost it. Some of us, before I end, some of us here, we have people that we are supporting, and we are paupers. We are paupers. We are not rich people, no. But we have orphans. We have people that we are supporting, but and everyone is crying. Today in Quito, you couldn't even send the money to people. There's no network towers working. There's no network people to eat, even Siakawali, to do what? And he's saying the country is all right. So when you hear someone like Laura Miti, I heard Laura Miti after the conference, Laura Miti saying the economy is better. I'm saying, what is wrong with this lady? Hello, and it's like it's a total mad shop, this thing that is going on. So people should also think about what the people that are surrounding HH are thinking about. Because tabali nomo abantu aba. And I submit,
Thank you very much, Wakafwimbi from Australia. Thank you very much. My last caller for the day, we go now to my guest. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba.
Good evening.
Please just call me Pastor. I'm calling from Southern Province.
Pastor from Southern Province, make your contributions.
Ambassador Mwamba, today's press briefing by the president was disappointing. It is disappointing the fact that his leadership is just becoming worse and worse and worse. For some of us that voted for him, truthfully speaking, we are so disappointed. But to stand here, personally for me, and claim that the signs were not there, it is not true. We were warned. We would hear this president on rallies speak decisive language. We would hear this president insult. And just because we wanted change so much, we allowed it. This is a man that even when he was in opposition, he never wanted to be held accountable, even in his own party. He did whatever he wanted. And now, that very man is in charge of an entire nation. And this is why he's bulldozing everyone to get a constitution that will favor him. At this point, if there's one president that was spoken against in Zambia, that people said whatever they wanted, I think it could have been it's the late President Edgar Lungu. People spoke whatever they wanted. They said, that is the only man I think of our president that could have said, people really hated me. Not this one. This decisive talking, and every time he does not want to take responsibility. He wants to bring an entire province, he wants to bring a tribe. He wants to come and say, Nemulanda. Which Mulanda? It is disappointing. This man that will never unite this country. It is clear now. I don't know what else he needs to start saying. Today's press conference was an opportunity for him to lay to rest the elephant in the room, which was the Constitution. How does he even say if another bigger group comes and wants to, what is he implying? He even repeated what he said in Chingola, that I told you, my people, not to avenge, as if it is him that gives the liberty to do that. He may be the president, but he's not the law. A head of state should not speak like this. This is not only divisive, but it is worrying for a man of his caliber to be speaking like this. Quite frankly, I am so disappointed, and we need to be very honest with ourselves if we still want a Zambia tomorrow, and be honest and hold this man accountable. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think there is a total reflection of what the country is feeling and what the country feels about this. Let me bring my panel back. Before I do that, I have Linda Banks, an international journalist and one that coordinated a media campaign for President Hakainde Hichilema. This is what she has said. Today's press conference, Linda Banks is based in the United Kingdom. Today's press conference was a mistake and it hurt. Many of us who have worked round the clock lobbying for funds, interviewing people, and helping to build a united, diverse team that truly reflects Zambia, felt dismissed. Wakwetu, she used to be on a panel called Wakwetu with Elas Munsha, Father Oscar, and others. Says Wakwetu was never a one tribe project. It was a multi-tribe movement with only two Tonga members. Yet over 20 regular callers were contributors from across the country: Easterners, Bembas, Northwesterners, Indians, and more, all working on the ground to support the president. President Hichilema was given one of the biggest mandates in our nation's history. That came from all of us, from a united Zambia. So it was painful to hear comment that seemed to out of touch with the national mood. At this critical moment, when the country is struggling and people are yearning for unity and hope, we need a leadership that listens, that feels, that shows empathy. We need a fatherly, mature voice, a kind, a steady, and connected voice to the people's reality. President Hakainde Hichilema is not. Mr. President, the nation is speaking. Please read the mood. Zambia needs you to lead with a soft heart. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so many calls. I apologize. We have to end the program. Let me bring in my guest to begin to give their views. I will start with Dr. Gilbert Kalonde. I got him from holidays in the mountains in California, but I'm glad that he could contribute. Dr. Kalonde.
Mwamba, I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. You know what surprises me is that you make a press conference and you find out everyone is against that press conference or whatever was said at that press conference. I think at that point, heads must roll from your advisory team at State House. You will have to query them, ask them if they did some research in whatever they gave you to talk about. But if it came from him as an individual, I also get very worried that bakateeka basalanda ati abantu baalimpata. What is the issue that he's talking about? It's the constitution. Is it telling you and me that the constitution is basically his, so the people don't want to do his wish? What is the constitution for? Is it for the people of Zambia or it's for him? Why is he even complaining? If people of Zambia say no to the constitution, they say no change to the constitution because it's theirs. Why should somebody get angry and complain like he complained? Unless he's doing it for himself, which might be established very soon. That he is not doing it for the people of Zambia, he's doing it for himself. Because there is no way you can complain at wali impata. Pantu wakana okitofonde for constitution. Sorry. Kuba seka fiatu wenu mwaka na ifina refire timu sansa musheni muevo. That's what you were supposed to do. Not to complain. The other thing is this. Bamwamba, you have mentioned my job. I'm a professor. Yes. Bamwamba, pakuba tenure. Ni after 5 years. Nga waingira tuingira to assistant professor. Then after you prove yourself that you can be promoted to become an associate professor, you get promoted and you become a professor and you become tenured. It's the same thing with presidents. That's why I talk about terms. From first term, kuya. You don't have to stay or change the policy book to say no. No, we should accept whatever comes out of our job evaluation. This is a job evaluation, and people have given, or they are going to give their job evaluation next year. So what do? Do you want to change the evaluation process? No. This is where we are making a mistake as a people and as leadership in most of African countries. We want to overstay. We want to live beyond the terms that we agreed upon. We agreed upon 5 terms first, then second term. There was nothing like 2 other more years. No, we didn't have that. And at the same time, we agreed that if in 5 years I don't perform, you can ask me to leave. That's what we do. Valungu graciously handed over the powers to him, and people were jeering, booing him in the stadium. But you know what? Graciously, he went back home. What did he start doing? Jogging. Jogging na abantu filafine mwe baliko mpepi muli ya mnabena mwaenda ko mwabutuka filafine muli sansa muka baleto bati bane ekuba fit muchalo. And why can't he do the same if people say no next year? Why does he want to play games on us as citizens of that country? At least we gave him a chance. He should be able to appreciate. Chimona kwa tibasa kubika mwiti mulia bola ola yumfa tuwa ishibisha sabate ala te abuino basa kubika tonso tubade kupasta kunamba 9 kuli tusu mafe ule filwa wasabati bali impata mani wakupatire bola ikupatire nanguli bali farini. I don't know what he meant anyway. Ukumupata. To be honest with you, it's time that Zambians voice out. And I hate to tell you the truth, and I repeat this, I hate taking people's voices away from them. I hate to hear people failing to mention their names because they are afraid. It's not right. We never, as a youth leader, I can tell you, Mwamba, President Kaunda, he came and visited my home here in California when I was living in California before I moved. And we talked about the campaign, that he lost the elections. He never complained. And when he was in power, we were not afraid that time when we were ushering in MMD to become the party.
Oh, my professor is in the mountains. Network is collapsing. Let me bring in Father Donosco to give his remarks.
Thank you so much, my Emmanuel Mwamba. I've been following the questions and the participation of many callers. There are many things that the callers have talked about. There's a gentleman who talked about the Institute of Gaslighted, seems to have been breathing, and the gentleman talked about the lack of the president taking responsibility as president of the whole 21 million Zambians. And so also surprised, Pumulo Stumbeko, my sister, was talking about the people of Zambia do not hate Hakainde Chilema because he is from Southern Province, or is Tonga, because Pumulo Stumbeko is Tonga as well. So she said they hate your system of governance. Your system of governance. There are many callers who have mentioned and emphasized the point that President Hakainde Chilema has allowed some sort of lies in this system of and even telling that the church suggesting to go and protest, they were going to bring violence, threaten the investors, and so on and so forth. That is also a lie. I would like to confirm here. I would like to speak to all the Zambian people. I've said this before. I'm going to mention it even tonight. I campaigned for President Hakainde Hichilema. Your Excellency, President Hakainde Hichilema, the fact that you did not recognize me as the one who campaigned for you, that is only your problem. You have recognized Father Frankie Walia. You have recognized some of those Catholics that are in your parliament. I was the only Catholic priest on the TV Vacueto. I was fighting by Emmanuel Mwamba here. This gentleman, Emmanuel Mwamba, who is on this platform, who is inviting me today, we were fighting him.
Correct.
Emmanuel Mwamba, this man, we fought him. We were 5, 6 of us on a panel, and Emmanuel Mwamba was only alone by that time. I don't know whether it was in Zambia, but he was there and very strong. And indeed, it would make us get a bit frustrated, and we're saying, this guy, I have to confess here, we are saying, this guy, goodness, he has answers for anything. How do we do it? I am confessing here in the public. This Emmanuel, he was alone. We were 5 on the other side. We were ambassador from Australia,
Erasmusha,
Linda Banks,
I remember
Dr.
that
Barbara,
night.
Dr. Barbara Kazila, Dr. Kazila, imwe pali abantu nchimbi va president Hakainde Hichilema pali nchimbi twaleva nanikane uyu Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, we were speaking so powerful. Not if yalelo mwalikaka abantu pakanwa munene mwalikaka abantu pakanwa abantu balesa kuno muri Edgar takwali ati anonymous muri Edgar Chagwa Lungu. We were not saying we are anonymous. We were mentioning our names. People are saying anonymous. Does this not say anything to you? Does that not speak to you? mwefa okumva efire ekitika mu kyalo kya Zambia ba president Hakainde Hichilema remove, don't sign the cyber bill. Crime. Kale twalandapo fyonse fi. Ifo tawa mtumfwa. Ine ba president Hakainde Hichilema. Ba president. Now, what you are saying, it's like you are attacking the church. Now I want to tell you, Your Excellency, you remember when you are going to Brussels, the famous time when you said Zambia is in the Champions League. I called the embassy in Italy because I was thinking something beautiful for you. And I said, most of the leaders in the world, when they go to Brussels, which is an economic capital, they don't forget to pass through the Vatican City and greet the old man. By that time, it was Pope Francis. Pass in Rome, greet, get the blessings from Pope Francis. Do you remember, Your Excellency? It's me who prepared those things. I know some people, they wanted to block me so that I could not even meet you and meet your entourage. They wanted to block me, but it's me who prepared everything. When I got something from the people who helped me to prepare the situation. Going to Rome, offices, discussions. And when I asked my dear sister, who is Catholic in your government, Doreen Mwamba, I have some expenses also. And Doreen Mwamba told me, and this was the answer, in President Hakainde Hichilema's government, there is no tantame. I was not asking for money. I was asking for the expenses that I paid. And my dear sister, we used to conversate cordially, Madame Doreen Mwamba, and she gave me this answer. In the President Hakainde Hichilema's government, there is nothing like tantame. And I answered to my dear sister, thank you very much.
Father, you can just clarify. That's a major set of information. When President Hakainde Hichilema, there was that plan for him to meet the Pope, you played a key role in, other than with the embassies and the High Commission from London and probably in Italy. You played the key role. And all you wanted was for them to refund the cost you had incurred because you are not in Vatican, you are in Rome, and you would then frequently travel across to ensure that the president got an appointment. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying exactly. And I was so sober, and I did not want to know anybody, to make anybody knows that I was behind all this preparation. Because I loved, I thought, the Hakainde Hichilema of 2021 is very different from Hakainde Hichilema of today. I did all my best. Here, even Dr. Elias Munsha can mention what I'm saying. Mr. Chipakupaku can mention what I'm saying. Dr. Kasonso, Linda Banks, Dr. Barbara, Dr. Kazila, they can say, because we had to discuss with them, and I told them that I was preparing these things so that we had great hope. Also because our president said, I am not going to do the same thing that I have endured and suffered under the previous government. I want to start with a new, everything was going to be new. And that's why I did that.
They would have loved to block me. But thanks God, I want to mention a gentleman here. He's a civil servant who knew all the preparations and said, John Oscar, it's not fair that you are put aside. And you are the one who prepared all these things. I'm not going to tell you the people that now they put in front of me. But it's me who prepared. I didn't want any compensation. I just wanted to refund what I got from my diocese, from my bishop. Up to today, my bishop thinks, because these things we do it. I've worked in the secretariat of my bishop here, a white guy, a white man, sorry, not a white guy, a white man. I've worked in the secretariat. The only black man who has worked in the secretariat of a white bishop here in Italy. And what they thought is, I have eaten money. Because it's not normal. It's not normal not to have any refund. Because my work was always, I had to inform my senior members of all what I was doing. Absenting me from this diocese for 5 days. 5 days, which are working days, I was needed to justify my absence from my diocese. So, Vahaka in the Chilem, today you might shout at the Catholic Church, but we spoke on your behalf. We campaigned for you. And what the only thing I'm going to ask you, with this one I conclude, is I am asking you candidly, stop Bill 7 if you love your country. I know you are a peaceful person and you can maintain this reputation. Stop Bill 7. It has been regarded as illegal by the Law Association of Zambia, and it's not the time to do it, according to our bishops in the Catholic Church and some of the stakeholders. This is my request to you, Your Excellency. Stop Bill 7. If, as Chabota was saying, I heard Chabota, who is a Tonga, like you, Your Excellency, you are a Tonga. Chabota says, maybe you are a narcissist. A narcissist is somebody who just thinks about himself. I am not sure you are a narcissist, but prove to me and prove to some of the people in Zambia that you are not a narcissist and you are not a mythomania like Chirupya Tayali, who is supporting you, said before. He said, and I quote, Hakainde Chilema is a mythomania. If you are not a mythomania, you are not a narcissist, Your Excellency, stop Bill 7. It has been considered as illegal. I wish you the best. I wish you to finish your mandate as a president, not only a president of UPND, but a president of all the Zambian people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me play Chabota's call. I think it was very fundamental.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. It's Jabota Moetwajilinda, spokesperson for the Movement for Good Governance, Ichabache, who's called in.
Thank you, my dear brother. Make your contribution.
Ambassador, I'll say this. President Hakainde Hichilema has dented the image of the people from Southern Province. This is something I've been wanting to say, and this is something I have to get off my chest. Everybody is looking at us with a side eye. because of President Hakainde Hichilema. And how he's done this, he has lied to the people of Southern Province that when you remove me from power, the rest of the country, that's what basically he's been telling them when he goes this side. If you watch some of his videos when he's holding a rally, whether if it's in Choma or Mazabuka, he speaks like he's trying to radicalize the people in Southern Province, to make them think like, he's creating that cult mindset, the us versus them mindset. And then when he goes to Northern Province, he preaches love, unity, and togetherness. But you will never hear him speak about love, unity, and togetherness when he's in Southern Province. He speaks like, hey, those are our enemies, and we need to defend ourselves. Okay? Which is why he's always gaslighting people. He's always playing victim, telling people out there. This is why now they have blurred the lines between hate and criticism. Anyone who criticizes President Hichilema, they will label you are bitter, you hate him. And this is something that he has been building for quite some time. He's brainwashed the people of Southern Province. He's manipulated them. This is why you can only see 2-3 people who can come out and speak against the injustice going on in his country. You can only count a handful of people from the South who can come out here and criticize him. Because to them there, he has told them that ababantu bali mipata. But in Ambassador Mwamba, I'm telling you, as a half Bemba, half Tonga, it is biting me here. When the Tongas think Bembas hate them, it bites me because I'm a product of 2 people. 2 sections of the world, of the country. My grandmother is from Kawambwa, okay? My grandfather was from Joma, Siaskabole village. Singani is my chief, okay? But this poison President Hichilema is creating, this us versus them, is what is destroying us. This man didn't come to unite this country. He came to divide it. Why? Because for him, it's divide and rule. The only way he believes people in Southern Province can be loyal to him is by telling them he is the only one who can protect them. President Hichilema has the God complex. He has this Messiah syndrome in his head where he thinks only him can do it. Any Tonga who's risen to challenge him to say, okay, Naine, I can be president, he has managed to find a way to put them down. Where is Vahamututu? Tongas should have had a new option to say, like, look, if it's not Hakainde, I can go for Hamdudu. Where is Vahamututu? He just wants to be by himself. The Tongas and the people from Southern Province, the Ilas, they are yet to discover that they too are victims of this manipulation. It's not the opposition that is destroying. Because after he's finished ruining the opposition, who is he coming for? Them. They think he's with them, Kairi, they are supporting him. He's Muntu Watu, and Iswetu Lalela. He's our man. But they will soon find out that once he's done with everybody who's fighting him, who's criticizing his poor leadership, he's coming for them next. Why? Because President Hichilema is a narcissist. And he just thinks about himself. Today, he had an option. He had an opportunity to redeem himself, to speak about what people have been talking about. But what did he do? He blamed people. He had been pointing fingers. He played victim. He played, he dismissed anything that people wanted to talk about. We thought he was going to take a deep dive in Bill 7. He didn't. He has tossed it aside. Why? Because in him, the only mindset he has is Bill 7 must pass for I want to get what I want. That's what President Hichilema is thinking of. Like the author Sang Tzu, he said, an evil man will burn his entire nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. And President Hichilema is doing exactly just that, where he is willing to break all our institutions, from the judiciary, the legislature, the executive, manipulate ECZ, everybody else, so long he gets what he wants. And then when people bring him to account, he plays victim. You hate me. And that makes him very unfit to continue being the president of this country. That's all I wanted to say. Otherwise, nothing.
Thank you. At least you've aired your views. Chabota Mwetwa Chilinda has spoken.
They trusted in God. Lesali bakosha. Vakana okusumina maisha abengi shinoshikana mumwana nguma politics. Abantu balanga folupia. Wala tuka naba bakusha. Wala tuka na ekleza. Bamubali ngira fenchito yabo. Bashikofu wa penshiko na balanda. Balebo obutego ata ufimulefu amona ulolu papulo tefyo. Echo tukendera pa 28 tuko abulefyongo. Twaliendapo kuli ba mwana wasa we walked. Nomba kapokola spokesperson yetu wati bakesa ni mfuti bakesa mkututinya. Esa mibelelo lusemwa chepa sana. Amen. We shall stand up for what is right. Ba bishop mulandu balanda mwabatuka. Balelande echinka. Mutu webe nishi mule batukila. Uyindangote eba kateka ati monanga wali bomba tetulela nda ukala sondafi bombe shopera abantu ifi mwala mutuka ba bishop chama balande spokesperson apele bakusondere webele tukesa na nifunde shule konka ayo politician imotaba mikate uyalanda nkatuma abantu 15,000 bakesa myumoko yona yamba kadaism tabalebeka tanomba moneni Daniel naba nankwe Tawati ni tabaile sumino kuya mkunwa wine ya State House. Panemfu mtu wase fishe mailo, the King of Kings, he doesn't rule from State House. He doesn't rule from palaces. He rules from the cross. And this is the cross here to listen. Dokulande chinka kwa bulomwenso. Andrew and companions, bali vepaya. Nishi, ififine tule chitana lelo, bali lande chinka, icho Kristo wa bashirile, ba vepailapo. Go ahead, shoot, intimidate, take away all our rights, but we shall speak the truth. Ero kuliba presentation ingatemwa ayama funde kutikeni kuishiwi the voice of reason. Murupa pulefe muleto senda badi landa basambilira muni loba lazima shani echo tule imela nimbi mwala posa kwa mano labeni kwa abantu balefwane nsala abantu ababafuresha baefwara tabafuresha abantu abatwala amataba bala twashana abana ba ku university bala ali mashani ino November yala pota bale byala bale funya ku isefi yakubyala abantu bale sendame nsala abantu bale mona uko abana babo bale chula na tukwata bashimayi naba 96 2000 tababa folesha kuyu BZ kuisoko konsanga mwalolekesha aba abantu bale kabiro kubalandira kuno kubapele chibalingile ichichi ntinya ukula bikwika kwa mafunde ashilingile tatwake kale tondolo efe tufiro kuchito mwina Kristo onsa ba archbishop chama bakalamba babashikofu onso mu Zambia bali Twitter tutukendo kwabula ifyongo ndebukisha ile myaka twali abantu mendo twaliendele pona muno mwina mukitwe n'abana bapa CBU palupapulo ba mwana wasa balefu abatwale twaliendele bali umfwile bachulo bali umfwile ba isi wabo twishibe nomba tuwafira no kwishanga bali fanga tabafa twashika nabo bene muleyibukisha biuten twalilandile bali umfwile ngai mwachakosa ero mo bene mwali kulu bali rospadile enshita umfwene vya abantu balelanda ifwe uchikosele shakwa Daniel no Andrew twakula imina pachinga abo mwayingishe nchito abana wine ku State House abasekela munga ababalelia na mumfu abalesenda mina ama vegetables and they were healthier than those abale no wine yapaka shitaka nono mwibukishe foto tekwa nemfumu yasha mfumu kosi ya makosi ubufumu bwenu bwachimpelesha ni 5 years bamonga mwashi na 3 basa tabafike na kuli 5 so mukuipifya mule mfiro kufayo bwakwalesa ilo tulelanda tatwa banga abanensuba nibashima pe balefano tufuro mu politics tefe twaba ifu tatwa keserusha bu minister bushana ifo lyonse tubakulu balirwa chinka tulandila balanda efyo ine mbwene tuipela wonse ero waipela wonse okutumika lesa ngoyuna mayo na lesala mona nokupala la pala so today we are being invited na mwe bayingisha mwe banwa kuyoku State House mwe bali mwe bakwata ama contracts mwe bashire muno obuchushi mulingesa bero bapele chambi isabiride mune chambiri amfana bwino ate apate betalesi lisala puke paku pali pani bali lya mukaisanga na imo palwalala nde myeba nomba ni nefe te kutali iseni mone nangu batupele batula efyashani tubenga na mayo tubenga Daniel n'abanankwe tuchite ofa bwa kwale senchita yonse ero nga walipelwe ekyabu
Natumfwane mkwai Ministry of Mabwe.
The green one that they're talking about, which is solar or wind, because you have the coal is there, and you should use it to generate your power. The power, they actually said that, Your Excellency, without power, there's no growth. No growth without power anywhere. And then when you have power, you will actually unleash growth in the country. When you do that, you talk less when you go out there to campaign to tell people what you've done, because they will see what it is. They will actually feel it. It's not like education where it takes several years before you can see the benefit of it.
Dangote told him, Mr. President, when you deliver, you will talk less. The reason he talks more is he hasn't delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, and for all the audience that joined us and all that called, and I'm so sorry, the phone is still buzzing. Thank you for the support you give to the program. But this program, and even our guests go to a large extent to sacrifice and be here. I had Professor Gilbert Kalonde from Montana University, and I had Father Oscar. We call him Donosco. Donosco, Don is another name for father. So Father Oscar Pombo Mwansa from Italy, and you heard his contribution. He was part of the so-called Wakwetu TV. They mounted a media campaign for President Hakainde Hichilema. Even if he was a priest, he risked his profile and supported President Hakainde Hichilema. And today he was even expressing the challenges and difficulties, in doing that. And all he's asking the president is to abandon Bill 7. We were discussing the protest march scheduled for Friday, the 28th November 2025. The president today held a press conference. Sadly, he made some remarks that when I woke up, my phone was buzzing, all my phones and the messages. People were very, very annoyed with the president's tribal remarks, where he's placing himself as a victim, where he's unleashing violence on innocent, peaceful protesters who are only exercising their constitutional right to exercise themselves. The president says he has opened doors and there is no need for protest. Protest and dialogue are all together. Dialogue can be in the form of expression that Oasis Forum wishes to do. Because maybe when they speak, he thinks they are not represented, because he's been using the excuse that, look at my technical committee, they received overwhelming response. Therefore, you are just individuals speaking from your desks in Lusaka. Maybe they need him to see the expression of our people against Bill 7. It's also a form of expression. It's a form of dialogue. The president doesn't want. He accused them of trying to break the country, of trying to remove him. He accused them that they hate him because of where he's born from. And you saw that it's extremely offensive. The president doesn't see it as you see even from a stranger like Dangote, who it is regular for him to meet presidents. Because in all the countries he goes to, his multi-billion-dollar investments requires that is in one unity with the rulers, governors of those countries. And he was giving unsolicited advice. Mr. President, the president is talking about 6% growth. You saw him brag even today at the press conference. Dangote reminded him, you cannot have any growth without reliable power. For 2.5 years, we've not had reliable power. Even when we boast that we have bumper harvest, when it comes to power, we have no water. Dangote told him, my dear brother Donosco referred to Archbishop Telesfo Mpundu. He came on my podcast, and I think I can find time to show it again. And he said when he came from seeing President Hakainde Hichilema, he was fuming because he's never been treated like that by any leader or any human being. They had grievances. It was early in the presidency of President Hakainde Hichilema, and so many things were going wrong. The corruption had risen now in insurmountable numbers. The misgovernance, the misrule, the abuse of the law, the determination to crush the opposition. Archbishop Telesfo Mpundu decided to go and see his old friends, his old mate. Remember, he held a mass at State House for him when he became president. He thought, this man, if there's anyone he can listen to, is me. On my podcast, Archbishop Telesfo Mpundu said he was seething with anger. As soon as he left, when he went to his home, he had to take a bath just to calm down because he's not been treated like that. How was he treated? It's because the president treated them like children, all the bishops, and gave them a lecture like they didn't know what they were talking about. And Archbishop Telesfo Mpundu, a man of the cloth, a man of calmness, said, I was so annoyed. I needed to take a bath after seeing that man. That's a state of our president. He listens to no one. He's his own advisor. He advises the advisors. He listens to no one. Even when Dangote was there, he probably didn't hear the powerful words the man was saying. Dangote was telling him, you speak less, Mr. President. You speak less when you deliver. Maybe you didn't hear it. Let me bring Dangote again. He's a stranger from Nigeria, a multi-billionaire who has no interest in our politics, and he wants to invest in our country about $300-400 million to put up a power plant. Listen to what he said.
You have the coal is there, and you should use it to generate your power. The power, they actually said that, Your Excellency, without power, there's no growth. No growth without power anywhere. And then when you have power, you will actually unleash growth in the country. When you do that, you talk less when you go out there to campaign to tell people what you've done. Because
he talks more. Dangote was telling me, when you deliver, you will talk less. Mwantu Wakwalesa, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. I think let's continue to pray for our country. Let's continue to stand for justice. Let's continue to stand with those human rights defenders that are fighting for us. The church is not an enemy. NGOs is that poor woman, Beauty Katebe, poor woman. She just loves our country. She loves our women. She wants to fight for the rights of our people. Why are you threatening her? Why are you sending her those awful messages of what you are going to do her before you take her life? Why are you threatening her by UPND? And Mr. President, you missed a golden opportunity. Why didn't you condemn the attacks that were meted by your cadres, your followers on Given Lubinda? Why haven't you called for the speedy arrest of those people that are... Gilbert Liswaniso was in Chingola. I played the video here. I wish I could find it just now and play it to you. At At a toll gate, one of his security men stoned a police officer because the officials were asking for the UPND cadres to pay for the toll fees. In his presence, Gilbert Liswaniso, who presents himself as a progressive youth leader, he was not progressive in this case. They harassed the police officers. They wanted those toll gates open. They stoned a police officer. No one has been arrested. And Mr. President, you keep on preaching to us that there's this was at Wilson Mofia Chakulia Toll Plaza. Wilson Mofia Chakulia Toll Plaza on the Kitwendola Joe Carriageway. I have got that video. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow. But no one has been arrested. You dare stone a police officer, and there's a video to that effect. You harass police officers, all because you are escaping pay a toll fee of 20 kwacha. This shouldn't happen in our country. What you preach, if you are is different from what is happening in our country. That's why I call you personally that you are a naked emperor. The naked emperor, the emperor was naked, but all the people around him were telling him how beautiful his clothes were. It took a kamwana, kasa monafie. If you mfumu, ili uwamba, akamwana kaseka, yangu tata imwe mfumu. You are naked. Then the king realized, but he now looked at the crowds he had walked, the path he had walked naked, where everyone was telling him how well he was dressed. It took a child to tell him. That was the humiliation that you are in, Mr. President. It appears you are a naked emperor, and no one is willing amongst your friends, amongst your colleagues, amongst your media team to tell you what the truth is. They've made you believe in your falsehood that things are okay. They've made you believe that there's nothing wrong you are doing. It's everything. All of us just hate you when we raise this issue. We just hate where you were born. That's what they are telling you. And you are affirming the foolishness. Your Excellency, you are naked. Your Excellency, the country is laughing at you. Amend your ways. The church means no other way but well. They wouldn't have stood against Edgar Lungu and campaigned for you. They wouldn't have risked their lives for you. They did so because they love our country. Today, you should think that they hate you because of where you were born. You think they didn't know where you were born before you became president. They know. They saw leadership in you and supported in you. Now they are challenging you because they are seeing evil in you. You are not delivering to the people. You are harming. You are abusing power. You are destroying our democracy and multi-party character of our country. You want to bring a constitutional amendment that will harm our country. They love our country, and you are standing in the way. They loved President Lungu. When he stood in the way, they supported you. You should understand that, Mr. President. God bless you. Good night and shalom, shalom. Tomorrow we have KBF, Kelvin Bwariafube. He has just held a national convention. He couldn't come last week, but he has assured me that he'll be with us tomorrow. So God bless you. We will see you tomorrow.
Which will be academic constituencies in their strongholds. And that's where the contention comes in.
Shame.
Because if it was non-contentious, why did they not respect the report of 2019 from ECZ? So when we say that this is highly contentious, had there been a consultative process, the people would have demanded to know exactly which constituencies were up for delimitation. So it would be folly for anyone, including our own MPs, to accept or agree on this process and later discover that they've been ignored. So we, as opposition members of parliament, we want to make it categorically clear. We will not be part of that flawed process. That is a non-constitutional constitutional amendment process. That's exactly what has happened. If it was constitutional, it was going to be people-driven. This is a process that is started by the UPND, doctored by the UPND, and concluded by the UPND. If anybody listened, there's nothing. I mean, the Minister of Justice, they are even controlling the parliamentary process. They have set the timetable for Madam Speaker. The Madam Speaker was there listening. You know, they are presenting a timetable for Parliament. A select committee for Parliament. How did she know? Yeah, so Comrade Chisanga, I stand here as as a very sad constitutional lawyer who, has witnessed what is called a coup d'etat, a constitutional coup d'etat. Yeah.
We need to thank the Catholic Church through their bishops for rejecting Bill 10, for providing leadership in rejecting Bill 10.
Those who feel uncomfortable, it is their prerogative to feel uncomfortable. I don't think there is a time when people are comfortable with the church. If you start getting a situation where people are comfortable with the church, then the church has stopped playing a prophetic role, because the church is not living in a vacuum. The church is living in a certain community at a certain time with certain conditions. So if our brothers and sisters are rejoicing, we rejoice with them. Our brothers and sisters are suffering, we suffer with them.
Lero bwacha bakamba mu kyalo ky'esu kya Zambia ekyaweka Njoy. Abantu baafo bakamba kule mu nfumbwe. More than 20 people balebe pati ni babiri. Bagamba. Fish to arufyanye. People have died. Mumino yabakapokola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government bagamba. Abductions have happened. Bagamba. If you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to change big man. Fish to arufyanya pakubika mu office. Fish to arufyanya. Why me? Missing. Achani ruba mwaicho and dishonor. Where is why me? Hey, change, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo church. Wala tupwisha bega kutupwisha bagamba. That's why they get kulanda big man. My youth, mana batata. Sabia tuwasevana. Bagamba. Waneza tuwapweni. Mujala chetu. It's ya Zambia. Tuamona mwempwa. Bagamba. Tuamona mwempwa. Nama abductions bagamba. Ubuteko tualeta. Wadulete lama. Amazala mush. No you can take. Kola ipompa tudeka. No you can take. Apa nomba bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Makufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Makufuatika fuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. When you day akwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Aikona man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Ika yakwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Yakuyati kwenyu. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mayona batata. Mayona batata. Bayuthi. Tentwisuli amenso. Tentwisuli amenso. Batusendela nomba batwipaila na hope Yesu. Endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani mkwatila plan B. Nomba tuwadishiba plan B abamino ya kualesa. Bantu banga abalafu muchalo chesu cha Zambia. Nibanga abantu abala abducted muchalo chesu cha Zambia. Bambire kuli jeje banda. Nibanga abantu abala ba prison. Abena chitotela chilangwa. Wonse baba prison netunguru shina shimbi. Muri one government ya kwa church. Abantu naba kwa mweleza. Aikata nomba baikata na kuyetika chakwa lungu atukwatile plan B. Abakubo byabyo mufulo big man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Bilabine batsendela yetika chakwa lungu. Abanomba bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika fuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. When you day akwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Aikona man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Ika yakwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shall together we will change, and we are going to change this government. My name is Blaze Zambia.